and breezy out here today, you all. Nice and breezy.
You see, there's just one thing I would like to know. What's the problem? What's the problem? Tell me, what's your problem? So what's the problem? Five, four, three, two, one. What's the problem? Tell me, what's the problem? So what's the problem? Tell me. Five, four, three, two, one. So what's the problem? Tell me. I wanna know. Oh, tell me. So what's the problem? I wanna know. Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what's the problem? Tell me. I wants to know.
Hey everybody, it's me, the Queen Bee, Angie B, and I don't know what the problem is. If you have a problem, you might need to let Laretha know, and she'll talk about it. Welcome to today's episode of So What's the Problem? I think the biggest problem I'm having is my eyeglasses are a little crooked, but that's all right. I'm not going to be before you long, so it won't bother you. Thank you for watching. If you have not already subscribed to follow the show, look for So What's the Problem TV show on Facebook. And there you will find past episodes with my friend and our host, Laretha Simon. Welcome to your show, girl.
Thank you. Hi, Angie B.
Hey, girl. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm always excited about another airing of So What's the Problem?
Especially since we've got so much to talk about. I mean, the show talks about travel, comedy, talk, and Jesus, and we've done all that for the past 3 days.
Yes, we have. Yes, we absolutely have. As a matter of fact, the show is still new. I mean, I believe this will be my 6th airing.
Yeah, beginning of the 2nd month. Yeah, you're
and
right.
You know, I get so tickled, Angie B, because I think the show premiered in 2017, and at that time I was wearing the same haircut.
So cute. Well, at that time I was, sporting the same haircut. It was just a little covered, it was a little covered back in 2017. So,
oh yes,
I know you have a lot to talk about today. So I'm gonna bring in your very special guest and let y'all get started because I can't wait to hear all about what she has to say.
Thank you so much. I am so excited, everyone, to welcome the Empress of MS. Her name is Wendy Bjork, and she is from the great state of Wisconsin. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, ladies. So happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us. We're so happy to see you. I know that you're familiar with Angie B because we're all co-authors of the Fired Up anthology.
Yes.
So, Wendy, go ahead and tell my little guests, not my little guests. I have lots of raving fans. Do you mind just telling them who you are?
Well, my name is Wendy Bjork, and I am a mom. I am a daughter of the king, and yes. I just love sharing my message of inspiration with others who maybe don't feel uplifted at
Yes.
any time.
Yes. And since I've been knowing you, Wendy, what I know for sure about you is you are definitely an encourager and you're a motivator as well. And I imagine that came about just because of the way you've had to live your life because of multiple sclerosis. And you have actually figured out how to live healthier with the disease because it is a disease. Tell me just a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's a chronic illness
Mhm.
where, I mean, sometimes it takes people years to be diagnosed. They have weird symptoms, they have things they notice, and maybe they tell their doctor. And you know how it is in a doctor's appointment, it's in and out. And
Yes.
that's part of the waiting process of
Yes.
just knowing what's wrong with you, that you're not crazy.
No, you are certainly not crazy, Wendy. You've done an amazing job. I'm very proud to know you. And so, what we want to do, first of all, is we're going to let everyone know about Fired Up. Fired Up is an amazing anthology. It discusses how we broke through the issues in our lives and what a change it made to us and what an inspiration it is for others to read the story. So, how did you get involved with Fired Up, Wendy? What happened?
I've had MS. Let me just take a step back. So I've had MS since I was 17.
Oh my gosh.
And it took them 5 years to diagnose me. So I was just out of college and I was 22 and working. My first big full-time job. And I get this diagnosis. And then you think your life is over because that's what the picture is painted for you.
Right.
And so I've gone my whole life until about 5 years ago of just not talking about having this illness. And about 2 years ago, I met Rebecca VJ, the publisher, in another group of women. And we were just kind of chit-chatting online. She was thinking of writing this kind of a co-author project, but she really wasn't sure, as far as ideas. And she said she already had enough health ideas, so she didn't need my story part of it. So then we were talking about my financial background and my insurance background and how that could really help people too.
Yes.
And we just kept talking about it until, she put this project together. And it's so exciting how it all has evolved and come together so that it can be an inspiration for people.
It has certainly come together. And for me, it was just a complete shock and a blessing the day that Angie B called and said, I have something very exciting to tell you. I have an opportunity you may want to consider. And it was joining Fired Up. So, of course, I had to have an interview with Rebecca Vijay, who's a publisher, and she accepted me. And I tell you what, Wendy, I had never been involved in anything like that. I had only written a short story that Angie B narrated as an audiobook. And so Rebecca really had to hold my hand through the process because it was so much. Did you find it overwhelming, or had you already been an author before?
Well, I had written 2 ebooks, but they were much smaller. And I've always felt like I want to write a full book.
Okay.
But it just seems very daunting. Where do you start? And who do you have help you? So this was awesome in the fact that she did everything. So I've learned so much about publishing a book and what goes into it.
Yes. And so have I, Wendy. As a matter of fact, I was so impressed because there was so much to learn. As a matter of fact, I remember, in addition to the Facebook group, how challenging it was because, she just kept us engaged. And then once we got into the actual writing of the book, there were so many different processes. And then we had to make sure we kept within the word count. And but I tell you, it was exciting. Rebecca was so helpful to us. We could reach out and chat with her personally, and then all the promises that she made us. Oh my gosh! Do you recall the promises?
Well, all the different components she put together, the
Mhm.
extra, the web class and the
Yes,
event and all the interviews and
yes,
the podcast part of it and
yes.
the promotions
Yeah.
and
Oh, the promotions, I was so impressed, especially with the mocks that she did and the way she launched it. Wendy, I've never seen anything like that before.
mm-mm.
Absolutely never. And then the promises, she actually promised to build my authority. Well, I didn't really know I needed any authority, but soon after um, we launched Fired Up, I got contacted by someone that I did not know on Facebook, and she invited me to give my testimony at her church in St. Augustine, Florida. And Wendy, from there, I mean, I have just been approached by so many other people to do interviews and to be on different podcasts and different shows. As a matter of fact, that's probably one of the reasons why I now have my own show that, of course, is produced by Angie B.
It's an amazing show. So I do believe that we were all divinely led together to
Yes.
Rebecca to have this starting point,
Yes.
to give us the confidence and the
Mhm.
platform to just
Yes.
keep going, because we
Yes.
are going to go.
Exactly. And I was so nervous with my very first interview. Oh my gosh. And Rebecca, of course, said, "Oh no, you're just fine." She was just encouraging.
Mhm.
Knock, knock. Hate to interrupt. We have a question.
Okay.
What exactly is MS? How does
Oh.
it make you feel?
Oh,
What does it do to you?
okay.
It is an illness of your central nervous system.
Okay.
So when you have a relapse or an attack, whatever you want to call it, the myelin that covers your nerves is damaged. So think of an electrical cord,
Okay.
like when you're pulling it out of the wall too quickly, sometimes you see those wires
Uh-huh.
and that cord will still kind of work, but not 100%.
Okay.
So that's how I explain it. So now if you have something happen in your legs, so now there isn't communication between your brain and your legs, so they don't work like they used to.
Okay.
So sometimes, and this happens to me too, like you just like trip over your feet, it looks like, and you just don't have good balance, or sometimes you lose your words, which was actually my first symptoms.
Okay. Well, Wendy, but you don't look like you have a disease. You don't look like you have multiple sclerosis. So, did you used to look like you were afflicted, and then eventually you figured it out? How did that work?
Well, if you look close, one of my eyes is like kind of goofy, and that's because I've had problems with my optic nerves.
Okay.
And there's like scar tissue on it yet, but I lost most of my vision a couple different times in my eye.
Really?
But I had a neurologist a long time ago that said, I don't care what you do, but get up and put clean clothes on.
Okay.
And if it makes you feel good, put on makeup. And that's what I've stuck to.
Okay. All
I might not feel good, but I want to look good.
Okay, well, you certainly do look good. So, Wendy, how do you stay encouraged? I mean, the doctor was certainly very helpful because he gave you some positive encouragement. But how do you wake up every morning knowing that you have MS? I mean, what do you do? How do you do that?
It's taken a lot of self-work because, I mean, there were days that it'd be just much easier to stay in bed and just,
right, feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah, feel sorry for yourself. But when you have kids, they kind of make you get up and get moving. So you just don't have a choice.
Uh-huh.
And I worked full time
Uh-huh.
until about 5 years ago when I couldn't handle
Mhm.
it anymore. So
Okay.
just keep yourself moving.
So, Wendy, you're a wife and a mother, and you have a thriving business, and you do all of that while living with multiple sclerosis.
Mm.
You just have to keep giving yourself grace.
Yes.
And I don't work 40 hours a week like I
Right.
used to.
You're right.
You just do what you can.
Uh-huh.
And if you can't do something, you just have to learn how to say no, or I'll do it later, or I'll do it next week.
Okay.
But I think what it's taught me is just believe in yourself.
Right.
You have a strong faith. That
Mhm.
helps too.
Of
Just
course
knowing
that
that you
That's a
have
big
help by your side.
That's a big help. But how do you deal with the stress, Wendy? Because I imagine stress is a contributing factor, is it not?
Well,
It definitely is.
Wendy, I really want you to
Sorry.
think about that question.
Okay.
Because we've experienced, everybody's experienced stress in our lives, and
Mhm.
I want you to think about that, and then we're going to come back to you in just a minute, Wendy.
Oh, okay.
Man, this is really good. I
It
know
is.
folks that deal with autoimmune disorders, and so
Mhm.
it's very helpful to be able to talk to somebody.
It really is.
I just want to let your viewers know that today's episode is sponsored in part by Divine Doves Design.
Oh.
Graphic designer Sonia Niles has samples of her work right here on the screen. She produced the logo for Volusia Business Women.
Mhm.
She's done so much more work. So, Sonia, we want to thank you for the logo and the graphic design work. You can reach Sonia at 386-690-2918. That's 396-690-2918. Also want to give a shout out to our newest sponsor, Dr. Quarterman from Family Dentistry of Daytona Beach. Family Dentistry is located at 244 North Frederick Avenue in Daytona. The phone number is 386-255-0238. That's 386-255-0238. Now, normally, Dr. Quarterman provides us with a health tip, a healthy dental tip, right?
Yes.
We had a really good question that came from last week's tip, and we're going to put that question out there so Dr. Quarterman can give us an answer for next week.
Okay.
So last week's tip was to use a soft, bristled toothbrush, correct?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
Because it does not destroy your tooth enamel. Your tooth enamel
that's correct.
Stay with you for a lifetime. So the question out of Orlando came, why do they make medium and hard brushes? So, Laretha, we need you to send that question over to Dr. Quarterman so she can answer it for us next week.
I most certainly will. I'd be happy to do that. Thank you so much.
It was a really, really good question. I mean,
it's an excellent question because it's so confusing when you go to purchase toothbrushes because you don't know which toothbrush to buy. They have soft, they have medium, and they have hard, and they don't give you any instruction. So how would you know?
But you're giving instruction here in your very first audiobook, Sexual Immorality, Your Confusion. You're giving instruction as to why you believe sexual immorality crept into your life.
Yes. I most certainly did, and my audiobook is available. It's the first of several of my testimonies, and it's just a tiny bit titillating, but it's mostly what led me to sexual immorality, how it came about in my life. And so it's very interesting, and I would strongly suggest that you reach out to me. I'd be happy to send it to you. It is on an MP4 audiobook format, and I
Mhm.
can send it to your email. That's how easy
Absolutely.
it is.
Absolutely. You could do the same thing with fatherhood. My
Oh,
thoughts and
yes.
feelings about the man,
Yes.
reflections during a pandemic. You
Yes.
wrote a stimulating story about your father.
I most certainly did. My father was a singer. He was a bridge champion, and he was a whistler. My father could whistle just as well as he could sing. And one of the things that I regret is that we did not keep a recording of his voice. And
Right,
so my
right.
sisters are often telling me, now that I have my hair cut this way again, that I remind them so much of my father.
Oh.
I just wish that I could whistle.
Oh goodness. Well,
Yes,
I'm
I do.
I'm excited about that project. And Laretha, your
Mhm.
writings just keep on coming. Let me show you what you featured in next.
It's time to get your copy of the brand new audiobook by Angie B. and Bartee Productions, Books and Besties. This audiobook features stories written by Laretha Simon, Tamala Lucas, Bartee, the author, April DeBro, Chanel Coleman Wesley, Dr. Barbara Buchanan, and me, Evangelist Angie B. Sponsored in part by insurance agent Debbie Scarborough with AMBA, Business with a Heart with Tahara Thompson, Triumphant Magazine from Teresa Jordan. This audiobook features a special highlight from the Fresh Book Festival, and Volusia Business Women. Attention please. Books and Besties. The audiobook, Volume 1, is now available. Be sure to contact any of these authors to purchase your audiobook. Produced by Angie B. and Bartee Productions, and narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie B.
Laretha, thank you for the stories that you're writing. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for allowing the Lord to use you the way he does. You know, when you first told me about the pen of a ready writer,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, Psalms 45:1, that makes sense, but I couldn't associate it with you.
Uh-huh.
Now, when I sit and I realized you weren't fired up, then you have your own audiobook, then you're in the fatherhood anthology, then you're in the Books and Besties anthology,
Uh-huh.
and then you just went Amazon #1 again, and Vanessa Blackwell's new. I mean, you definitely have the pen of a ready writer.
Absolutely. And I only have my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to thank, because I did not know that I was an author. And so now that I have embraced it, he just downloads the words, and it is really a blessing, Angie B. It's amazing. It
And I
really
know,
is.
and we go back to what Rebecca said, for authors of
Mhm.
Fired Up. You know, your
Mhm.
territory will be enlarged, your
Yes.
opportunities will be enlarged. And
Yes.
we're going to bring Wendy back in, because
Uh-huh.
you guys We have events that we're going to now
Right.
that are a result of Fired Up. And I know Wendy came to Florida at one point
Yes, she
as
did.
a result of. So tell us about that, and then we can talk about the stress. Yeah, we'll talk about stress.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, Wendy, you did come to Florida to an event. Was that because of Hearts of Wellness?
I was actually invited to speak at a women's retreat in Fort Lauderdale in January,
Okay.
and it was called the Simply Believe Retreat. We need to keep believing in ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a part of self-care.
Hmm.
And so, Wendy, tell me a little bit about why you call yourself the Empress of MS.
I call myself the Empress because I've been in the lowest of lows,
Mm-hmm.
pulled myself back out of it, and
Mm-hmm.
then figured out how to begin healing my mind, my
Mm-hmm.
body, my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing that I am here to share this message with
Mm-hmm.
others dealing with things, not just MS,
Mm-hmm.
but things in life that are troubling them.
Right.
There are ways to pull yourself out.
Yes, as a matter of fact, and it really all starts with your mind. You really have to keep yourself motivated and thinking positively about life, even though you may not be feeling, um, you may not be feeling well. You may be under a lot of duress, and physically you may have some ailments, but it really does still matter what you think and what you say. Is that correct?
Right. And
Yeah.
it's not just you do it once and you're done, it's
Right.
all the time.
It's
You have
all
to
the time. It's
constantly
daily.
catch yourself.
Yes, constantly catch yourself. And then I guess it helps because obviously, Wendy, you've trained your family in how to be supportive of you.
Well, it's like I said, it's a
Uh-huh.
constant,
Uh-huh.
it's just, you can't stop. You
Right.
have to constantly think of how you want to be
Uh-huh.
that day.
Right.
Do I want to be happy?
Uh-huh.
And not just like fakey, giddy
Mhm.
happy, but in your
Mhm.
core,
Mhm.
believing in yourself. You
Right.
have to believe in yourself and be
You
your own advocate. You have to
yes.
stand up for yourself.
Mhm. Okay,
And
so
just,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
and I just say, just be your own best friend.
Be your own best friend. So, do you have like positive affirmations all over the house? You know how you have signage and things like that?
I have little sticky notes, in my like my planner
Oh,
and, in front of me when I'm working,
oh.
and, just trying
Mhm.
to keep thinking of it. I have a sign that says, ask
Mhm.
and, be given to you, and
Right,
seek and you
right,
will find,
right.
and knock and the doors will be open for you.
Okay.
And I believe that's true. Just,
I certainly do. I certainly do as well, Wendy. As a matter of fact, your Heart of Wellness, these are a couple of the snippets that I took from your website. It says, I don't know if it's just because I live in the North, because you live in Wisconsin. You said, but we chat about the weather all the time. It can be perfect one day and completely awful the next. I thought that was encouraging. Go ahead.
yeah. And I think for myself, having, a week of no sun is hard.
It is.
And a lot of people get gloomy and down in the winter because it just goes on and on.
Yes.
And you really need to recognize that and
Mhm.
seek somebody to, be by your side or give you help or give you
Right.
tips.
Right.
It's not just all in your head. Yeah, it's a real
It
thing.
really is. It's a real thing. And then, of course, you say, do I choose to allow the weather to dictate how I'm feeling? No way. I've wasted far too many days feeling sorry for myself.
Yes.
Now, Wendy, you're also a contributor for the National MS Society. they have a magazine called the Momentum Magazine. So what kinds of things do you write in that magazine?
All different articles. I usually talk to my editor,
Uh,
probably once a month, and we kind of hash out some ideas. But I mean, I've gotten pretty real and raw in there and talked about, because MS, once you have a damage to your body, that
right,
doesn't come back or fix itself.
right,
So I mean, it can be bladder problems, and like I've said, it can be speech or vision,
right.
and instead of trying to fluff it up, and
Yes.
pretend it's okay, it's
Yeah.
not okay.
It's not
And
okay.
just letting people know that if you have to, change something in your life, maybe you have to have supplies on your, in your bag because you can't get to a bathroom fast enough.
Exactly.
There's probably thousands and thousands of people sitting right now thinking, I could never talk about that. And I couldn't either.
Right.
But I just feel like I've been given the voice and the power, the platforms.
You have.
So it needs to be talked about.
You absolutely have, Wendy. I think you're a wonderful advocate. As a matter of fact, you are often invited because they consider you to be an expert on the subject because you're not afraid to speak out about it. You get invited to speak in different areas and arenas and on podcasts and on different shows because you're living with the disease and you seem to have found a way to live your life and to still have some joy, because it really wouldn't be fair to your family for you to just sit around and mope and pretend and feel sorry for yourself. Yeah.
They probably wouldn't put up with it.
No, they wouldn't. But because they love you, I'm sure they're very proud of you, Wendy. They've got to be very, very proud of you because, as a matter of fact, when Fired Up went number one, which I think occurred, now we didn't launch that book until December, I think it was December 9th of 2021. And before the end of the month, that book was already an Amazon International number one bestseller.
Yes.
And I believe it was in the multiple sclerosis category.
See? All 4 weeks.
See?
Yes. Yeah.
That was all you, Wendy.
And that's why I think I need to write my own story of letting people know, this book, this Fired Up book is a preview, and you should still get it because there's a lot, and not just my story, but everybody's story.
Everybody's
there's
story.
A lot in there.
It's a lot in there. It's very worth it. It's very affordable, and all of the proceeds from the sale of Fired Up are donated to Samadhan in India. It's a charity that works with children with intellectual disabilities and marginalized women. And I was so proud of the fact that our publisher, Rebecca Vijay, decided to do that. It just really made me feel warm and fuzzy.
Yes, yeah, me too.
It sets things off. It does. It does.
It really does.
Okay, Wendy, we'll be right back with you in just a minute. We got a couple more announcements from our sponsors. Larissa, I'm excited about all the places you're getting ready to go to. Look at the territory that the Lord is putting you in. You're going, you go in places. First of all, you were just in St. Augustine, Florida.
Yes.
Yes, and that was the day after you ran a pop-up shop. Have you gotten any rest?
Yes. We had a very successful pop-up shop.
Yeah, it was sponsored by Volusia Business Women.
Yes.
And we got a lot to say about that, but I know you're getting ready to head to Tifton, Georgia with the rest of us. Tell us where
I am. We're going to be having another pop-up shop. We do We autograph our books. We sell books. We invite vendors. We do lots of networking. And we've been invited by Debbie Scarborough of AMBA, who lives in Tifton, Georgia.
She is our host. She also joined us this weekend at the pop-up shop. And it was so cute. She was walking out the door and she said, I don't know when I'm going to see you guys again. I said, we'll be there in about a week or so, a couple of weeks. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So, yes, we'll be at the Giggles Cafe. They're offering a brunch and limited menu items for our book signing and networking event. Yep. Thanks to the owners, Monica and Donnie, for serving us and taking care of us. If you'd like to join us in Tifton, Georgia, just get in touch with Laretha and she'll give you the details. In the meantime, we've got this coming up this weekend.
Attention, please. You are cordially invited to attend a virtual book fair event, Books and Besties, introducing the world to our books and our businesses. Amazon best-selling authors, entrepreneurs, and ministry leaders will be joining us to tell you more about their products, services, and their callings. This event will be streamed live on Facebook. Log on to author Angie B, author ANGIEBEE. Contact any of our scheduled presenters and search for Live with Angie B and Bartee on YouTube to watch. It's a virtual book fair event presented by Angie B and Bartee Productions.
Tim here for Management and Consultative Favor. Just reaching out to go ahead and remind you that we do have the upcoming June 12th workshop coming up. This is for all things for-profit business registration with the Department of Incorporations. We're going to be talking about what you need for EIN number. What do you need to go ahead and start your business bank account? We're going to talk logos, websites, even business credit. You don't want to miss this. Make certain that you tune in.
Join us for the Boss Women Getaway, Armed and Dangerous Conference. It will be held June 23rd to June 26th, 2022 in Orlando, Florida. Women will rally together from all over the globe to experience 4 reviving and energizing days of empowerment. The conference will showcase women leaders from various parts of the country. The collective platform will foster conversations on topics and issues pertinent to empowering women through optimal health and wellness, spirituality, financial stability, organizational management, and professional development. Through sharing experiences and initiatives designed to promote upward and forward advancement opportunities, we are empowering lives through diversity and inclusion. Headline speakers from Rochester, New York, Temple Hills, Maryland, Nashville, Tennessee, Toronto, Canada, and Orlando, Florida. There are multiple means in which a person can attend this powerful event. Please go to drperdameeks.org and look for the Register Now button. Ticket prices range from a single day pass at $55, an all access pass for $225. Please note that prices will increase as we draw nearer to the date of the event. This conference is part of a ministry of Newborn Fellowship Church Incorporated, founded in 1992 and located in Rochester, New York. Newborn has multiple locations, one of which is Newborn Fellowship of Orlando, located in Castleberry, Florida. Weekly services at Newborn Fellowship of Orlando are held Sunday at 11 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. at 118 Live Oak Boulevard, Castleberry, Florida, 32707. For more information, please visit nbfcc.org/Orlando. Promotional consideration for this event is sponsored in part by Angie B. and Bartee Productions.
You got a lot going on there, Laretha.
Oh my gosh.
A lot.
We really, really do, Angie B. And I'm loving life.
Mhm.
I remember at one time when I didn't have a purpose and I wasn't sure how I was going to spend the rest of my life.
Sound kind of like what Wendy was saying.
Well, I need to ask Wendy about her other businesses. I know that you're licensed in insurance and risk management, and you also do property and casualty life insurance, Wendy.
Well, that was my career of
Oh.
about 20 years that stressed me out so much that I could barely walk. I mean,
Oh
people
my
thought I'd been in a car wreck. I was
Really?
so conscious and so driven to take the best care of my customers that
Right.
I was last.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so through it all, you have figured out that you absolutely have to come first. I mean, as far as self-care.
Right. I
As
mean,
far as self-care.
yeah, even if it's 5 minutes,
Mhm.
just go outside and clear your
Mhm.
mind,
Right.
breathe.
Mhm.
Just breathe in the fresh air and see the nature around you. It can just totally change how you're thinking.
I believe it.
And
I
that's just,
believe it.
yeah, just
I
one of the
believe it.
things.
Wendy, tell me a little bit about your Wednesdays with Wednesday portal. I'm sorry, Wednesdays with Wendy portal.
So my Wednesday with Wendy is
Oh.
my weekly email where I try to share inspirational tips or maybe something that happened during the week that maybe somebody could get a laugh out of.
Mhm.
And when you sign up for my ebook,
Mhm.
you have the option that you can receive this email every week.
Okay.
And it's through my Hearts of Wellness website,
It
which
is.
the whole Hearts of Wellness thought came to me back in 2017.
Oh.
I just wanted a place where I could share
Mhm.
what I've learned or what
Uh-huh.
I'm doing or, ways to help people
Mhm.
speak up for themselves
Right.
and just know that I see them and hear them and understand because
Mhm.
I'm living it.
Yes, you are living it, and you're doing a great job of helping everyone else. As a matter of fact, what you say in one of your Wednesday emails is that we are the architect of our own life, and that our happiness, it really is up to us. But oftentimes we expect like our spouse or our girlfriend or someone else in our life, we like to blame others because of the way we feel,
Mm-hmm.
but that never works out well, does it?
No, it doesn't because it's always comes back to us.
It always does. It always comes back to us. So, by keeping a positive mindset, that's the best way to start is by keeping a positive mindset set, and instead of thinking about everything that's going wrong in your life, you should really focus on what's right
Yes, and be grateful.
and be grateful.
I mean, having a flush toilet, you're right there. You are wealthy. You are blessed.
You're right, and it is the little things that matter the most anyway.
Right.
It's the little things that matter the most. Now, the Empress of MS, you shared your secrets of not settling in spite of MS. This is in Fired Up. And you also spoke about how you can be in control of your life. And you have absolutely taken control of your life, Wendy. And then you went on to discuss creating a strong financial foundation. Now, I can't imagine why that would be important. Wendy, tell me why having a strong financial foundation is important.
Well, the first thing is nobody ever wants to talk about it or look at what
Mm-hmm.
they have or don't have happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe when you start having kids,
Mm-hmm.
that's the time to start building their financial future.
Right.
And it is not expensive when they're tiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the younger you start with them, the less cost there is.
That's true.
And people say, well, I don't want to put life insurance on my kids because I don't want to make money and something happens. But you have to look at it like this is their foundation for their future.
Absolutely.
And it'll help them, towards retirement. You don't want to think about that when they're babies, but you need to start somewhere.
You do need to start somewhere. Is that Angie B that just popped in again, Wendy?
It's me again. I have another question. It looks like it's coming from Detroit. The viewer wants to know, how are your family members able to help you with your MS symptoms?
Mm-hmm.
What specifically do they do to assist you?
Oh.
I think the big one is helping clean the house.
Oh.
Because that is exhausting.
It is.
And for myself, to help myself,
Mm-hmm.
Do the little things,
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a company I buy wipes from. So they're cleaning wipes, and they're, they have just the disinfectant wipes that aren't bleach.
Uh-huh.
And then there's wipes that are like a scrubbing wipe.
Okay.
None of it is harsh chemicals or toxic, because that's like a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But these wipes, and I probably have 5 different ones. There's furniture cleaning wipes, so instead of using a dust thing that there's dust flying everywhere.
Right.
A wipe, and then you're just done, and you just throw
toss it away in the tray. Okay.
And it's all biodegradable, because this is all something else that I've learned about. We need to help keep our environment healthy too.
That's true. And Wendy, I know you've helped me with essential oils, because you say that the environment is critical when you're suffering from an autoimmune disorder like a multiple sclerosis.
Right. We don't realize how many toxins are in everything around us.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I started reading about it, 5-6 years ago, there's been 80,000 synthetic chemicals created just since the 1940s in our country. And there's no regulation, and there's no real research that's been released on what happens when we're exposed, or we combine them, or we use them around our kids. But the autoimmune disease rates are just through the roof.
That is horrible.
It is time to really look at what you're bringing in your home.
It really is. Wendy, if you don't mind, go ahead and tell my viewers how they can get in touch with you.
So my website is heartsofwellness.com. And I actually launched a brand new members portal last week. So each month we have a new theme and a guided meditation that I create. So for May and June, for May it was spring cleaning. So the meditation is spring clean your thoughts. And then there's diffuser recipes of essential oils to use. And I've tested so many diffusers in my, years of this, so I can help you find one that's going to last you and not
Awesome.
croak out after a couple times like happened to me.
Awesome.
And I have web classes in there and recipes for fast dinners.
Okay.
And just a place to have a go-to. Because when you see something on Facebook or Instagram and you're like, oh, I want to take part in that.
Right.
And then it goes by and you're just, I have no idea where the date went.
Exactly.
Now, what I figured out is if we could have one spot where everything is just kept.
Yes.
So that is my whole new place of putting things. Besides my website, there's a ton of stuff on there.
Oh, yeah, it is. You are just a wealth of information. Wendy Bjork, the Empress of MS. And I would strongly recommend anyone that is looking for encouragement, motivation, inspiration to reach out to Wendy Bjork. She is the Empress of MS, but she also offers information and guidance for other chronic illnesses. And as you can see, she's extremely compassionate, she's patient, and she's willing to help. So do reach out to her. Isn't that right, Angie B?
It is. Thanks so much, Wendy. I truly learned so much just by narrating your story.
Yes,
I'm fired up, and I hope I get to work with you again. Thanks, Wendy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I tell you, Laretha, your guest lineup is so impressive.
It is.
I ain't even trying to ask how you were able to help Wendy find the time to be with you, but today was absolutely wonderful.
It really was. It really was. I'm very excited about it. Thank you so much, Angie B. Thank you. You're just the best producer. Even though you have a little slight, I
got a little something, but I'm drinking my tea.
Yes, you drink your tea, and I'm gonna drink mine
because we have to be ready for this weekend. This Sunday is Books and Besties from 2 to 6 p.m.
Yes.
And then Tam comes to teach us how we can all be business owners right at 7.
Yes.
And we got, ministry and services Sunday morning. So Sunday is a long day. Long day, but we get it done in the name of Jesus, and we only got to put our lipstick on once.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to it. And are you excited about the Boss Women Conference?
Absolutely. That's June 23rd. We get to go to the Marriott Bonnet Creek, and we're going to get to interview some of these boss women who are bringing all of this prophetic prophecy to Orlando, Florida. Dr.
Meeks, Dr. Friedman, Jewel Tankard, the wife of Ben Tankard, the musician.
Yes.
And Dr. Reva Timms Watkins. All them doctors, if I'm not healed by then, maybe some of them can lay some hands on me and heal me by then. I am so grateful. Bartee and I were trying to figure out where we got these stuffy noses from. And I told him, I said, well, Bartee, you were wrangling up the kids at the pop-up shop. Because he was the only one with the electrical outlet for them to plug in their devices into.
That's right.
And, a couple times I got pictures of him and like 5 or 6 kids just, around him. I'm like, well, maybe, we never know. So
yes, that is so true. But I just also like to share with you that we owe a great deal of thanks to Shirley Thompson, because Shirley has joined the tour that Angie B presents, and she's already making phone calls to thank the vendors that came out to the pop-up shop. And she's very prayerful, and she always wants to offer prayer, and prayer changes
things. Yes, it does. With your mug that you got from Teresa Jordan of Triumphant Magazine. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Absolutely. So one more exciting aspect for you before we close out the show today.
So advisory is highly recommended before listening to this audiobook. Sexual content is included. Confinement Chronicles, the inspirational audiobook series produced by Angie Productions, is now emerging from the curve in 2021. You are now listening to Volume 2 in this series, and it is entitled The Single Saved Struggle. Our next story is titled The Value of Virginity, and it was written by Laretha Simon. Whether your virginity was stolen or consensual, virginity is valuable and still has its place in our society. My virginity was stolen. What is a virgin? The very first mention of the word virgin in Genesis chapter 24, verse 16. The woman Rebecca was very beautiful, a virgin. No man had ever slept with her.
I tell you, Laretha, you is the pen of the ready writer. Every time I keep looking, I'm like, oh, that's right. Laretha was in that project. That's right. Laretha was in that project. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, I think I have about 5 audiobooks now that were produced by Angie B Productions. And they're all 5 very different writings. Yes.
They absolutely are. So you guys, please send an email to laretha25@gmail.com. Place your order. I know she accepts Cash App, and she will deliver all of your audiobooks to your email. all of them.
I sure will.
We're gonna bring your guests back in for just a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna let you close out the show. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be with you.
All right.
And Wendy, if I don't talk to you by the end of the show, have a good one, dear. Have a good one. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Angie B. Okay, Wendy, what didn't I cover that you would like to mention on So What's the Problem?
Well, we really covered a lot.
We did.
And I think you touched on the fact of I help people that maybe are dealing with a chronic illness.
Yes.
But my big audacious goal is to start preventing these illnesses.
Really?
Because in my readings that I was guided to, only 5% of cancers are genetic. That means 95% are from our environment, whether it's our physical, whether it's our thoughts, whatever it is each person deals with.
Wow, that is one lofty goal, Wendy. Only 5% are genetic. That is unreal. And I'm certain there is something that we can do about it. And I would like to be on that bandwagon myself, Wendy. I really would. And thank you so much, Wendy. I'm just so excited that you are Wendy Bjork. I'm excited that you are one of my co-authors of Fired Up. And I'm excited that you agreed to join me on today's show, Wendy. It's just a wonderful thing that you've done by sharing all of your secrets to MS. And then the fact that you've got the Hearts of Wellness and you have your Wednesdays with Wendy portal. I mean, you're pouring everything that you have out to help others.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a good thing.
We are here for a reason, and I am here to help.
Yes, you are. And you have been a big help. And thank you again, Wendy. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You see, there's just one thing I would like to know. What's the problem? What's the problem? Tell me, what's your problem? So what's the problem? Five, four, three, two, one. What's the problem? Tell me, what's the problem? So what's the problem? Tell me. Five, four, three, two, one. So what's the problem? Tell me. I wanna know. Oh, tell me. So what's the problem? I wanna know. Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what's the problem? Tell me. I wants to know. So what's the problem?